Marcus from Topic Tech Gaming here, and today I'm covering a complete walkthrough for the Cloister of Trials at Bevelle Temple. This is, in my opinion, one of the most difficult trials in Final Fantasy X. It requires timing and quick button presses. So let's begin. You start out in what I refer to as the top path. One thing to know about this temple is that the glyphs on the floor have arrows that alternate, and when you hit X on that glyph, whatever direction that arrow is pointing is the direction you will travel. As we first start traveling down the top path, turn right at the first glyph intersection. Follow the path through the intersection all the way to the bottom. In order for your pedestal to act as a platform, it must always contain a Bevelle sphere. So it goes without saying that you will always have one Bevelle sphere in your possession at any given time. Once you reach the bottom of the platform, take the Bevelle sphere from the wall and insert it into your pedestal. Push the pedestal back onto the path and ride it back to the top. Once we are back at the top of the path, turn right, and then turn right again at the next glyph. Insert one of the Bevelle spheres from the pedestal into the spot on the wall. Inserting the sphere here activates the path on the next level below. Now push the pedestal back onto the path. At the end of the path, use the last glyph to turn around and head back the other way. At the first glyph you come to, turn right. Remove the Bevelle sphere from the wall and put it in the pedestal. Then push the pedestal back into the path. Ride the platform all the way to the end and off the path. You will start back at the beginning. As you make your way down the top path from the beginning, turn right at the first glyph again. Instead of going through the intersection this time, turn left. Head down this path and turn right at the last glyph. The timing on this path is a little trickier than the previous one because it is sped up. If you happen to miss the last glyph, no worries, just ride off the edge of the path and it'll start you over. Take one of your Bevelle spheres from the pedestal and insert it in the spot on the wall. This reveals a walkway with a sphere slot at the end of it. We can't do anything with it currently, but we will be making our way back here in a moment. Push the pedestal back onto the path and ride off the edge starting at the beginning of this path level. Head to the second to last glyph and turn right. If you don't succeed, don't worry about it. Just ride right off the edge and start right back at the beginning of this level. This part can be really tricky because of timing. I find that it's best to watch the second to last glyph and hit X when that glyph is pointing right while the one you are standing on is pointing forward. Let's take a look at what I mean with a freeze frame. Every 6 arrow fluctuations, your arrows will line up exactly how you want them. Notice how the arrow I am on is pointing forward while the second to last one is pointing right? That is where you want to hit the X button. At the end of this walkway, take the glyph sphere from the wall and put it in your pedestal. Push the pedestal back onto the path and you'll be forced to go right. Turn right at the last glyph. Take your newly acquired glyph sphere and insert it in the purple slot at the end of the path. Retrieve the destruction sphere from the wall and take it back to your pedestal and insert it there. Push the pedestal back onto the path and ride it off the end. Using the timing trick, ride back to the second to last glyph. Insert the destruction sphere at the end of the walkway where we obtained the glyph sphere initially. This activates the track going up on the next path over. The next part is really important. Push the pedestal back onto the path and ride to the last glyph and turn right. Take the Bevelle sphere from the wall and put it into the pedestal. If you do not have 2 Bevelle spheres at this point, you are going to miss out on a really great item in a moment. Push the pedestal back onto the path and ride it off the edge to start over again. From the starting glyph, take a right at the first glyph you come to. It is the only path we have yet to take. Push the pedestal across the platform and continue forward. Head up the stairs, and to the right you will find a treasure chest. Open it to obtain an HP sphere. The chest should disappear, revealing a glyph on the floor. Do not proceed past this glyph. Instead, step on the glyph to bring the pedestal to the top of the stairs. This is why it was important to have 2 Bevelle spheres. Take one from the pedestal and insert it in the wall behind you. This will activate the pathway on the left, bringing you to the hidden item. Push the pedestal off the platform to the left, and ride it across to the treasure chest to obtain the Knight's Lance for Kamari. All you have to do now is head all the way to the right, and you've completed the Cloister of Trials.